So now we're on the first generic no DQ match of the night, which just gets another different name because if you call it a Chicago street fight, then people think it's different.
Or I call it the Tony Mango's sloppy second adventure match.
Right. Either way, it's still no DQ and no
Yes.
count out.
But in this version, Mango actually rapes you afterwards.
It's awful, this show.
I bring out the best in him.
Yeah, you two are no longer being the two only people here.
I get relegated to guest spots. It'll be like I come on every month
Yeah,
when the show needs a boost.
once a month for the Lord Alfred Hayes of the show.
Tonight on WWE Superstars.
So
I was looking through one of your old Divas contests, and I came across Jazz, who I wasn't familiar with. That basically is Booker T, right?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Can you dig it, sucker? What, Jazz?
See her
Nothing.
Five times.
I'm gonna
God.
kiss his ass.
So anyway, the Chicago street fight. Let's get into that before this goes out of even more out of control. The only thing different between this and a generic no DQ match is they were wearing jeans. That was it.
I like that. Look, how can I make this match more intense?
Right.
Jeans. Yes.
We'll call this the Levi Invitational fucking Crazy House match. And I don't know. It's just I liked that touch to kind of make it seem like an actual street fight, but when you don't have something like a last man standing stipulation attached to it, it doesn't really feel like a street fight to me. You know? Like I would think that if they wanted to make a street fight sound like it was a different concept, that they would use that as kind of like the false count anywhere last man standing hybrid and sort of do like you don't even start it in the ring. You start it in the back somewhere or outside the arena or you know what I mean? Something to make it a little different. But nonetheless, it still was a good match. Uh, Pretty brutal in a lot of different ways. Uh, their backs were completely fucked up from
Yeah.
Mostly from the kendo sticks. But one of the things that I thought was kind of funny in it, uh, Punk gets doused by Jericho with beer, and first thing, of course, we're thinking of is this whole Steve Austin thing. But a little bit after that, Punk takes a fire extinguisher and shoots it in Jericho's face, and the first thing I'm thinking of is Rowdy Piper. And then right after that, Punk does his elbow drop, which brings up the Randy Savage thing. And then everybody's talking about how it's not unlike Shawn Michaels. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's going on in this match? It's a Chicago street fight with all of the old retired people. But another thing I found kind of funny was there was a parody of the Dos Equis commercials in the crowd, one of the signs there, and it was right around the beer segment. So I thought that was opportunistic. But oh, but yeah, you know what? I'm skipping over the other thing too. A little note that I had written down when Michael Cole almost said on the goddamn table, and he was like on the god. But they had a lot of nice stuff in this match. They had the Anaconda Vice little spot with Jericho getting out of it by hitting Punk in the head with the Singapore cane. They had the Code Breaker with the chair, a couple different false finishes and all that. Finally ends with a GTS, and I liked the match. And at that point, it was the match of the night, I think.
Yes. I agree with you on that one.
It's hard to
Uh,
argue that wasn't the match of the night up until the next match we talk about, but
The Divas Championship.
maybe not then.
the next male match we talk about. But yeah, no, it hit all the spots. It ticked all the boxes. Um, it basically did what it was supposed to do. Really, it ended the feud with Punk and Jericho, gave Punk the it allowed him to come out on top rather than continuously get beaten down by what Jericho was doing prior. And it elevated both men. If they did this in the first place, it would have made both guys shine a lot more. But I'm glad that they used it to end the feud.
Overall thoughts, Urban?
Overall, I'm with you that it wasn't much of a street fight. I mean, couldn't metal trash cans, a stop sign, something have been thrown in just to make it look like you're on a street at least, other than jeans. But I
He's
mean,
wrestling in blue jeans, babe.
it was still entertaining. Honestly, I would have been happy no matter who won that match. So the fact that Punk retained was fine with me.
I was happy that Punk retained too. I didn't want to see Jericho win, then just continue this and drag it on.
He's a liar. He wanted to see John Cena with the title.
What are we doing next? Next, we will start talking about the Divas Championship. So
You
if
do want
you,
to talk about it, don't you, Mango?
so if
You want
you,
that Divas title.
if you want to fall asleep, then usually watch the Divas, but a little bit of a different thing this time. So check it out.
Actually, I'd say the piss break was Orton versus Kane because the Divas match was actually interesting. So stay tuned.
Yep, I agree.